Hi, I'm AJ Pope from Reflect Marketing, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the types of books and stuff that have inspired me from when I was just starting out as a fledgling business to things that have really just made a big impact into my life. I have to start with the first book that really clicked for me. It was Fiona Hurd, How to Be Your Own Life Coach. Now I was 21 years old and going through what can only be depression, I would say. And I've worked, as far as I'm aware, my entire allowable workable life. So, paper round when I was 13 and working the corner shop, opening up at 5 a.m, etc. And when I was about 21, I just didn't see where my life was going. And I've got really quite dark and depressed, which was hard for my now husband. And yeah, my mum gave me the book. I think she was expecting me to read it, and with a few other self-help, get yourself together sort of books. And I left it there for a while, and it wasn't until I read this, like I said, Fiona Hurd, Be Your Own Life Coach, and then followed on with 10-Minute Life Coach, that it kind of made sense. It was basically, there's one sentence in it. It was a sort of, I'm obviously paraphrasing, but it was along the lines of, you're a grown up, you can choose your own beliefs and values. And up until that point, I was very easy to accept the negative and not very easy to accept the positives, which I think a lot of people go through. It was just one of those things where you just realise that, yeah, I don't need to believe things that I've been told my whole life, so I'm a grown-up. If I don't want to believe something, I don't have to, and I can replace it with a positive value. About 2 weeks after reading the book, I decided to start on my own business. So I feel that was probably a pretty really positive book to read. Books that I read now, I'm a good reader. I'm bad, ridiculously bad at spelling. I don't know if I'm dyslexic. I was going to do a test with dyslexia, but it actually cost more to do the test than to get the equipment I would use to rectify it, so I thought better of it. So yes, I would quite happily read many books. Most books are actually on business and marketing. I love it. I can sit there and get lost in ideas, and if you want a business idea, come talk to me. I have thousands and only two pairs and two arms. But yeah, the book that I'm reading at the exact moment in time is D's, The Ultimate Business Marketing for Small Businesses. Very good. It's just, I think I read books that are clear. Like I said, I'm not the most eloquent or the best speller by any means, but things that make logical sense to me are great, which is why I have to read business books. Don't get me wrong, there have been some which are stinkers, including something investing. I do invest, don't get me wrong, but I would not be reading that book. I think they completely missed their target market. They made a book. They're obviously marketers. Not marketers, investors themselves, and they pretty much wrote it in investors' language, which meant that Joe Blogs, where they were selling it at W.H. Smith's at the airport, really didn't grasp what they were on about. They weren't very clear at all. Whereas, yeah, these books very clear. She's been in marketing for years, and her main strength is copying, making something that's very engaging, how you would follow up and continuation and all this sort of stuff. So she's really positive for me. Obviously Michelle is amazing. Michelle Holmes. I haven't read anything she's done because she does all these wicked videos, which just makes it so much easier. And obviously I've seen her speak a couple of times, which has been really great. I've done a seminar of hers. Who else has inspired me? Obviously I can't really go any further without saying Mr. Theopophitus. He's probably going to kill me for saying this. Didn't rate his book. But seeing him speak is fantastic. I think the reason I didn't get the book is because there's a lot in there about football. I'm not a footballer. kickboxing. Sorry. So yes, I think I'll leave the football to him. What else have I read recently? So there's loads of books that I read when I was starting up, because when you start up in business, you're sort of like, yes, got this great idea. Now what do I do with it? So I mean, a lot of the books I read at the beginning were things like From Acorns. That is a really good book, and it was just basically about how it's a numbers game. You know, you kind of got to just keep going. I don't necessarily agree with the books that I read at the beginning now. I think once you've been in business for a little while, you kind of work out what does and doesn't work for you. I think, you know, the downside to business books is they're not made for you, which is why, I mean, I personally quite like the one-to-one research, finding out exactly what an issue is or how to correct it or reviewing it before going down the path of, you know, the right marketing and everything for them. Just trying to think now. What was the other books I read? I read 4 Hour Work Week. That's an interesting one. Tim Ferriss. It was very, very good. I'm not entirely sure you necessarily like Tim Ferriss from the book, but he's made a hell of a lot of sense, and it does stop you from getting stuck in the paperwork and side of the business rather than the bit that you actually enjoy. And this is why I've transferred over. I mean, I was working for many, many years in the childcare sector, which I loved. And then when you have your own children, doing it at work and at home and at play and everything else, it just makes it a little bit intense. And I found that the best part of running the business that I enjoyed the most was talking to people and getting to know them, and the marketing side, customer relations in general was definitely the way forward for me. So, marketing was born. Good old Reflect marketing. There are so many opportunities here in New Zealand for improved marketing. A lot of them, because of the small population, there's an assumption that you don't need to niche market. And obviously you don't want to shrink your market too much, but you do want to be talking to the right people. And I think I can help a lot of businesses in that way. I'm starting at the moment helping out a small independent shoe shop, which is fantastic. I get to, merge a few loves, marketing and shoes. Come on. So yeah, I feel that's the best way. But it all started with Fiona Hurd. I would never have got the confidence I needed to get into business at all. Even confidence to just be me without that realisation. Now I know a lot of people, need the one-on-one, but it was just the conscious decision that you can wake up and choose how you want to feel, and it's up to you. I'm a control freak. This works for me. Not sure how it will work for everyone else, but yes, that would be my recommendation. So, what inspires you? What makes you sort of get up and think, that makes sense? I'd love to know your thoughts. If you could drop me a comment or let me know what next book to read, that would be fantastic. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Bye.